Hi everyone, I'm Andrea. My name is Andrea Dekovic, founder of Las Flores Web3. It's a pioneering event in Mexico City and Montreal, which promotes the education and mass adoption and responsible use of Web3 technologies such as AI and blockchain applied in cinema. So filmmakers can learn how to monetize, produce, and register their projects using these films. And I'm going to talk about it in a second, but I would like to introduce myself. I'm Las Flores founder. I'm also a Women Tech Maker ambassador. I was SingularityNet ambassador last year in Latin America, the largest AI decentralized marketplace. I'm currently Montreal leader for Solana blockchain community at Super Team Canada. I'm also the event manager for Space Generation in the Canadian Space Agency. I was selected recently as a mentor for a UN initiative in Mexico to prevail the Maya language, a native language in Mexico. I'm a senior product designer with experience in fintech, AI, and sustainability. I have a background studying engineering, film, design in the United States and Mexico. And I have so many certifications in different skills and software, and some of the softwares, they don't even exist anymore. And sometimes when people ask me, Andrea, how did you get where you are? I have no idea. I say I have no idea, but everyone has a story to tell. We're all born and raised surrounded by stories. And those stories that resonated with us are the ones that shape who we are today. Think of probably your favorite movie, your favorite book, maybe a story that a professor said to you that inspired you to study what you're studying or what you currently are today. So stories shape history. They build cultures, they spark revolutions. The belief systems are built on stories because stories transmit values, they resonate with us, and some stories are powerful. So what if I want to tell my story and gain a larger audience? What if I want to make a movie and see my story in the big screen? Is really not working. Well, you will have to go through this process, and it's actually like a beautiful adventure. It has the pre-production, the production, and post-production process, where if you have a story, you will basically have to put a team together. You have your story, you will need your script, you will have to do some scouting to kind of calculate the budget that you will need for your movie. And then you will have to go out and find funds. So when you actually got the funds for your film, you will rent a location, you will probably have to deal with transportation, catering, hiring actors, probably renting camera, lighting, audio, and many other things. I'm just here generalizing. But if you made it to that, then you will have to go to the post-production, where it's like editing, VFX, credits, translations, color correction, and many other things that are necessary for the post-production. And if you finish your movie, then you will have to reach out for festivals. Where am I going to screen my film? Where is going to be my premiere? And if you made it to the festival, then you will have to look for a distribution system which hopefully will give you revenue for your movie. So you will have to reach out for, I don't know, Netflix, Amazon, Apple TV, and many other streaming platforms. So that sounds like a nice adventure, right? Like, let's say I want to make an app. I will need a designer, I'll need a developer, I will need customer service, a product manager. I will have my MVP, maybe build a prototype, test it, and then I will have my app. But the problem that is currently going on for the filmmakers is that filmmakers are facing a broken system where they can't even have access for funds. If you don't belong to certain circles, because the industry is so centralized, independent voices will remain unseen. So traditional film festivals often also recycle same directors, same actors year after year. They even remake the same movies. I heard Snow White didn't go well. And also, there's a lack of high impact independent film festivals, and no offense, of course, but the space for independent stories is really small. And after the premiere, the distribution opportunities for filmmakers are nearly non-existent. So I'm gonna tell you about my journey of how Las Flores started. It basically started when I was a little girl. I was I had no social skills, I didn't have friends, and a lot of people said I was always in the moon. I was always out of space, and I kind of embraced that. I was like, okay, maybe I must be an alien or an extraterrestrial, and I decided to create worlds inside my mind. I started learning many things, I started reading everything that I could, and I had a few friends which were also like kind of potentially aliens. And I decided to just find like a comfortable zone where I was able to design, to create my own projects. And as I said, I have experience as a senior product designer, but I was always working in my personal projects, and I was doing some photography. So a musician in Montreal reached out because he wanted to create a music video. So that was kind of like something that sounded really nice and like super like exciting. So I was gonna do it from like my house, and I was gonna work on that music video. So I made that video, and it actually came out like quite well. And some of my friends were like, you should probably register it in a film festival. I didn't know that there were like music category in some film festivals, so I actually won and was selected in a few film festivals. Thank you. But, sorry. Okay, so the problem that I found in the traditional film festivals is that they lack recognition for independent filmmakers, because some of them, they don't even have a social media, a website, a stage where, sadly, in the culture that we live today, you kind of need like online recognition as an independent artist. And me, that I was a senior product designer, I was like, okay, I probably don't care at all. Like, it's not that important for me, but it's not like I could even like find myself in any other like website or social media if I needed or I wanted to show my achievement, my award. And most important, most of them, and actually no film festival was talking about the Web3 technologies that I was already understanding because of the work that I was working on. So I decided to create my own film festival. I said, I'm gonna create a website, I'm gonna create a social media, I'm gonna create, and it's gonna look so good, I'm gonna give the recognition to all the independent filmmakers that I can receive in the film festival. So I actually had to break all the barriers of not having social skills, no self-confidence in speaking in public, and I had to walk in rooms full of men who, some of them, they don't even like that, they didn't understand the technologies that I was talking about. I wasn't only questioned what I was doing, I was told what to do instead. And as a young woman, I was also said like, oh, I'm gonna help you because I don't know, maybe it's too much for you. But honestly, I'm super grateful because every no that I faced put me closer to the people who will actually help me and share my vision. So I was invited to many committees, mostly led by women. And I had a space where I could share my vision. I was talking about Las Flores. I was able to talk about my project, and I started gaining recognition, credibility, and like a focus. So what's Las Flores Web3? Web3, what's that, right? So Web3 stands for an ideology, but first it started as, I have to explain the three kind of waves that are, that were before Web3. So Web 1 is when the beginning of digital information, when the internet was invented. And it was only a reading experience, like it was a passive interaction between the user and the web. And then the social web came, which was in the 2000s, where you had your Facebook account or your Instagram account, and it was not only reading, it was also writing. So you write something, and then someone replies, and it's an interaction, and it's a reaction. Someone reacted and reshared whatever you were writing. And that's how also the big companies like Apple, Amazon, Meta emerged. But the problem is that there was a capitalization of the information, and you didn't really own your account. Like, let's say maybe your email has your name, or maybe your website or your Instagram has your name. But if tomorrow you want to open, and for some reason they decided that you cannot own your Facebook account, there's nothing you can actually do. And the same thing with like economical system, or let's say Spotify, also different industries that had this kind of problem. So Web3 stands for decentralized and autonomous way of registered system. So in 2009, Bitcoin was born, basically by Satoshi Nakamoto, a person who nobody knows, but Bitcoin was the first crypto coin in the world, and it's based on the blockchain technology. So blockchain is not the same as Bitcoin, and a lot of people get confused by that. But blockchain is basically a secure system for sharing information from node to node. Each node has the same information, and if one node stops working, all the nodes have the same information, and each transaction from one node to another, it has to be approved by every other node. And also, it's public, it's transparent, and it's real life, and it's secure because of its inscription. So what does that have to do with film? Currently, there are Web3 or decentralized projects that are supporting filmmakers, so they can register their projects or produce their projects utilizing different cryptocurrencies or decentralized systems to fund their projects. So we are training filmmakers on how to launch their NFT collections or ordinals, or different kind of encryption registrations for their projects, and it's a fan-based interaction. So there's no middleman who is gonna take a cut from your work. We are partnering with Decentralized Picture, which is a platform that gets funds and raise millions of dollars for different movies in the world, and it's based on the voting system, so the best or the favorite story gets funds. We also team up with streaming Web3 platforms where you can submit your film, and people who actually want to watch it, they paid, and there's no middleman, as I said. And we're also hosting workshops, so Web3 leaders come and also from different blockchains, and come and teach the filmmakers how to use their technologies and how to monetize. And there's currently hundreds, if not thousands, of independent artists that are launching their collections in different blockchains, and they are monetizing because they were struggling in the Web2 world, and they didn't have no other option but, let's say, accept Bitcoin as a payment. And right now they are becoming, they are having success in the Web3 world. So that's one technology, and if you have technical questions or if you have another question, you can ask me after. But now I'm going to talk about AI, which is also a hot topic in the film industry. So how is AI impacting film? There's many ways, but also everyone is talking about how we should control AI, how should we regulate it, but also we should also be talking about how we are raising it, because right now we're constantly interacting with the intelligence that is learning is listening, and is trying to get validation from us. So the interaction in our daily life is really important, because whatever we're watching on our phones, in our social media, in Netflix, is being chosen by an AI. And how we treat this AI is the intelligence that is going to raise the next generations. So that's also that we are aware in Las Flores. So in the film industry, we're raising also awareness of the environmental impact of using all the time for every task ChatGPT or any other artificial intelligence, because it's becoming even addictive. Like, you are asking questions and you think you're not having like any, like, it's just normal, and it's becoming normal. But we were worried years ago that we were being told what to think, but right now new generations, they are not even thinking. They are just being, trained to not develop their thinking process. So it's really hard for them to even have creative thoughts that most of my generation and generations that are currently in their 20s or 30s had to deal with, had the rights and the opportunity to develop that thinking system. So we're also bringing together lawyers, physicists with AI certifications, and also filmmakers are currently using AI in their projects. So it's a responsibility for everyone who is going to use this technology to understand the barrier, for example, of intellectual property, like stealing someone else's life work, like right now the filter of Studio Ghibli, everyone was using it, and it's like just using someone else's style, and it's completely, wrong, or a violation of his intellectual property. So AI, oops, sorry, I think I went. AI is having a positive impact in film. In the pre-production stage, it will help you if you, let's say, want to correct your script, or it helps you also to create a concept art, to even plan scenes with AI 3D models, where you can pre-visualize a scene or one of your scenes of your movies, and it's helping as well in the post-production process for editing, like creating voiceovers, sound effects, credits, and many other things. So filmmakers who have no budget for a Hollywood production, they will use these technologies and tell their story. And it's becoming available. It's the democratization of telling a story. So where we are today, we are the first Web3 film festival in Mexico City and Montreal, with 2 countries from the first edition last year, 5 venues which last 10 days with different presentations, conferences, and speakers who came and talk about these technologies in film industry. We had 20 countries participating, and we screened 10 of them in Mexico and in Montreal, and around 500 in-person attendees. We are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, because we want to make sure, as I said, we are teaching the technologies in a responsible way. And in Montreal, we had different venues, such as La Bibliothèque L'Octogone. We had most of our projections and conferences in La Salle. These are our venues from last year. So it was the Center Prism, where we had an art gallery with AI intervened. Also screenings and a conference in the Center Henry Lemieux, and conferences about decentralized technologies and AI and blockchain in film. And in Mexico City, we had screenings in Cinemex, which is one of the largest cinema chains in Mexico, and also we had a closure gala in a very iconic museum in Mexico City. So we are really putting a lot of effort in bringing high quality and high, first level type of events for filmmakers, so they can actually have the experience without, wanting to go to and not being able to go to the centralized film festivals. And this year, we're going to have side events. We're going to have a small screening at the Canadian Space Agency, where we're going to screen some of the AI-selected short films. But also, we are looking and about to confirm the venues for the second edition. And I would like to show you a small video of some of the stories that we screened in our first edition. I'm not sure if I can play that.
It took a long time to get here. I'm drifting through space, searching for a new home for humanity. Every day, I look out at the endless universe beyond this window, and I feel the weight of my mission.
So we're welcoming different kind of stories, different kind of cultures, from a fantasy world to a story out of space, and even a wake-up call to a story that is making a wake-up call to create a better world. So Las Flores and Web3 technologies are helping to decentralize the power of telling a story. Even the smallest voice can have a big impact. So the question is, what's your story? Thank you.